Today, 3 signs that you and your twin flame have had past lives together. Twin flame past life signs. 3 signs that it's them. And we're going to talk about how that really works as well in this video. We're going to do the signs first. I'm going to list them off one by one, and then I'll explain each one of them. And as I'm explaining them, I'm going to explain to you how that really works, like having a past life with your twin flame. Okay, sign number 1, knowing. Like this weird, eerie knowing, like this intuitive knowing that, yeah, this is your twin flame. All right? That's a real obvious one, and I think for obvious reasons, because that kind of intuitive knowing, it's coming from the soul. What does everybody say about twin flames? Twin flames are the same soul, so that's why that's number 1. That's a big one. Number 2, dark night of the soul, right? The obsessive thinking, this like weird like sense of meaninglessness, and just absolute bonkers desperation over this breakup, which for many of you, not all of you, but most of you, it wasn't really that long of a relationship or anything. Nothing much happened, and you're just losing your shit. And that's never happened before. You've never freaked out like this before over a breakup? What the fuck? What is wrong with you, right? Well, I'm going to explain why that's happening. Okay, number 3, a spiritual awakening is taking place. And yes, I will explain what that is, what that looks like. How do I know I'm having a spiritual awakening? Because you hear people talking about that on the internet, and they give you like really generic, like stereotype type of answers, kind of answers. And it's never really made sense to a lot of people. So I'm going to like dispel that, give you like really clear, like easy to identify things. Okay. So number 1, the knowing. So you know this person somehow. They're like familiar to you. Or maybe you saw the term twin flame on the internet, and you saw that and you were like, I just know that's what it is. I just fucking know it, right? And then your mind could be going, well, how do you know that, right? Well, here's the thing about intuition, and I actually just shot a video about this, and I can't remember if it's going to be, if I already did it last Wednesday or if it's going to be in 2 days, this coming Wednesday, one of the two. I can't remember what the schedule is, but it's going to be close. So I just made a video explaining in great detail, like how would I know I was experiencing intuition if I was? Like, what is intuition exactly? Because there's a lot of mythology on the internet about intuition, because there's mythology about everything on the internet. Doesn't matter what topic it is. It could be finance or spiritualism or politics or health or just whatever, right? There's all kinds of stuff on the internet. And what I try to do is explain to you why what I'm saying about twin flames is true. And this is a big one, guys. So intuition, again, if you think you experienced intuition having to do with your twin flame, I just made a video about that. It's called How to Understand Intuition. And it's either I posted it already last Wednesday or I'm going to post it in 2 days. I can't remember the schedule. So just go check it out on my channel, subscribe if I haven't posted it already, and it'll pop up this Wednesday. So anyway, intuition, it's this knowing, like I know this person, they seem so familiar to you. You might already be convinced. You might not need to watch my other video. But it's not emotion though. It's like deja vu kind of. Well, it's exactly like that. Because the thing with deja vu is it's this kind of weird like knowing. And then there is also thinking about it. So there's the knowing and there's thinking. So that's telling you something. It's telling you that those are 2 different things, guys. They're coming from 2 different places. So this weird knowing, which is not emotion or thought, and the thinking is actually questioning the knowing. Why? Because the knowing is not coming from the mind. Right. This is a big one, guys. Now, why would you be having that experience? Well, again, twin flames are the same soul. If you look on the internet for information about twin flames, you're going to get a bazillion different opinions about like what to do about your twin flame. You know, all this like healing and clearing your karma and doing the mirror exercise and all this kind of woo-woo new agey stuff, which actually makes your twin flame run harder, by the way. And I'll give you some free resources if you want to know like what you should really do about your twin flame. I am the world's #1 twin flame coach. If you're new here, welcome. I've coached over 7,000 people. My twin flame is permanently in my life. I've got all kinds of students that are married to their twin flame. Okay, here's the thing. So even though everybody's giving you all of these different opinions about what to do about your twin flame, everybody agrees that twin flames are the same soul. Well, that's good, right? At least everybody's got that part right. At least we're clear about what a twin flame is, right? Now, what's interesting about this contradiction is, well, if we all agree about what a twin flame is, what's the problem? Like, why does everybody give you different advice? Same description. Here's what a twin flame is. Different prescription. Here's what you should do. Same description, different prescription. Why? It doesn't make any sense, right? And this is how I ended up the world's #1 twin flame coach. I'm like, guys, you don't do mental exercises to get your twin flame to stop running. And actually that makes them run harder. And I'll show you a video that you can watch that explains why that works that way. You got to approach this through the soul, guys. You and your twin flame are the same soul. You are simultaneous incarnations of the same soul, right? Like reincarnation, right? Everybody's at least heard of reincarnation, right? Yeah, you are simultaneous incarnations of the same soul, you and your twin flame, right? That's what's going on. So this is your higher self in what we call heaven, or the energy part of the universe, right? And then all of these red dots represent individual incarnations, like reincarnation, right? So these are other lives that you've lived over here. The birth year 1880, birth year 1770, birth year sometime in the future. And then this is you and your twin flame. You are simultaneous incarnations of the same soul, okay? And when you do the thing that we call die, your body goes away, your mind goes away, right? What's left? You, right? The real you, the soul, which is consciousness, and that's where the knowing comes from. I know this is my twin flame. How do I know that, right? So the mind starts thinking about the knowing. We already talked about that. But when you do that, when you do the thing that we call die, you go back up here, and you can reincarnate into the past, into the future. You can hop all around in time, right? Okay, so that's the knowing, and that's kind of why that is happening. It's information, this knowing, this intuition, it's information that's coming from the soul, and it's going, yeah, this is your person. This is, you know, it's pretty obvious, right? Sign, right? Okay, #2, dark night of the soul. I mean, I'm not going to rehash it here. I'll give you some resources, but oh my God, dude, this is not like other breakups at all. I could not function for 6 months. I could not fucking function at all. I didn't want to eat or sleep. There was this weird obsessive thinking. It's so fucking weird. It's not normal, okay? And I've never experienced that before or since. And it's metaphysical, you guys. So, and again, I've got a better video that I've made about this that I'll direct you to if you want. I'm going to just give you like a really fast, quick explanation about this. So if it doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. I'll show you the other video that you can watch. But okay, so your body, mind, soul, right? Right, okay. So if you want to understand twin flames, all you got to do is understand how those three things work. Pretty straightforward, right? Like if you want to get your twin flame to stop running, understand like basic spiritualism. Real spiritualism, not the hoity-toity pop culture woo-woo stuff, not that stuff. Real spiritualism, guys, okay? Coming from the great spiritual masters, Buddha, Jesus, Paramahansa Yogananda, Ram Dass, Eckhart Tolle, Rupert Spira, etc., etc. The big names, okay? The mind is duality. That's where the yin and yang symbol comes from. The mind is duality. The soul is the oneness, right? It's not duality. It's consciousness. The mind is thought and emotion, and it works on a system of duality. The soul is non-duality. It is consciousness. And science works the same way. Science is proving a lot of the stuff that the great spiritual masters have been talking about for thousands of years. Now, this is what's happening between you and your twin flame. This is why they run. This is also why there is the obsessive thinking, okay? So you're over here. You're this positive polarity. It's not divine feminine. You are not divine feminine. Your twin flame is not divine masculine. I don't know why people use those labels. That's got nothing to do with it. Gender has zero relevance. It's all this. It's the second law of thermodynamics. It's energy, guys. Twin flames is real. This is real. Okay, and if it's real, then there is a real scientific explanation. Just like telepathy and stuff like that. You know, there's all kinds of like scientific studies that have been done about the power of prayer and telepathy. And science has definitely proven that consciousness is coming from out there somewhere. If you are skeptical of that statement, just go watch my video called, let's see, there's two. There's one called, I'll link them down below for you, but there's one called How the Soul Works, and another one called Science Proves the Law of Attraction, which law of attraction doesn't really apply to twin flames so much. But that video is more about like how most people are not aware of the fact that conventional scientists are like proving that consciousness is non-local. It's out there somewhere, and there is telepathy. And I'm talking like really big names in the scientific world, which they don't talk about this stuff on television. Most people don't know who the big names in science are. Okay, and so that's kind of what those two videos are about. So you might watch Science Proves the Law of Attraction first. Now, for most of you, I don't think you have any problem with this, with being told that science is kind of proving this stuff right now, telepathy and reincarnation and life after death and stuff like that, right? Most of you don't really have a problem with that statement. But for the rest of you, just go watch those two videos. There's lots of proof. Okay, so this is why your twin flame runs. The second law of thermodynamics, it's not gender. It's not, well, Kurt, I heard some New Ager talking about how the masculine is actually positive and the feminine is negative. Nope. No, delete gender. Just get rid of it. Just forget it ever happened. It's got nothing to do with it. The only reason the gender labels exist is because somebody recognized that there is a principle of duality at play here. And for reasons that I haven't cracked yet, most of the time, the chaser, you, is a woman. In fact, right around 87% of the time, right? And that's based on, I can tell, like my audience, the people that watch my twin flame content, 87% of them are women. So and why that is, I haven't quite figured out yet. I don't know that there is a mechanical reason for that. Kind of like this is like a mechanical reason, right? Like this is easy to understand why your twin flame is running. It's the second law of thermodynamics, right? But I think there is maybe a reason for that having more to do with free will. I don't really know, guys. That's like the last thing that I haven't quite figured out yet. But why there is this polarization, I'm going to give you a video to watch, which explains all of these things. Again, like I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail. This is you. This is you. You push, they pull away. That's why they run. That's why there's the dark night of the soul. Okay, that's why you're so heavily focused on them. And it has to do with the fact that your twin flame is your past life. I shit you not. So I even made a video about this. There's 2 videos I want you to go watch for sure. Just go to my Twin Flame Science playlist. Twin Flame Science. Go find that playlist on this YouTube channel. I'll even put a link for it down below for you. Click the link, Twin Flame Science playlist, and watch at least the first 2 videos. Those 2 videos go together like 2 peas in a pod. Watch the whole thing, because I give you a really thorough explanation for this. Yeah, your twin flame is your soul. I mean, if you knew who you used to be in a past life, and you had a time machine, and you went back and met that person, are you guys the same soul? Yeah. Okay. Well, again, time is not really linear. So when you do the thing that we call die, you can hop all around in time, guys. Okay? You can hop all around in time. So here's the thing about it. Remember at the video, at the beginning of the video where I said, we're going to explain, does it work this way? Can you have a past life with your twin flame? No, not really. Not really, because here's the thing. If your twin flame is your past life, that's you, dude, in another body. So when you meet your twin flame, what you are doing is watching a replay of things that you did in one of your past lives. Again, reincarnation is a time machine. Time is not linear. When you do the thing that we call die, you can go back here, you can go up there, you can hop all around in time. Here's another thing. Dreams, and like past life regressionists, I don't want to hear it. If you're already in the comment section going, Kurt, I know that I had a past life with them and that there was 2 of us, and well, then you didn't meet your twin flame, dude. It's a soulmate. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it, guys. If it is true that twin flames are the same soul, how do you think it works? How do you think it works? And for you to submit to me the idea that there's 2 of you, 2 souls, having an experience together, that's not twin flames, guys. Your twin flame is your soul. Okay, there's no having a past life with your twin flame. You maybe had like an intuitive experience where you saw another incarnation of your soul from the perspective of one of the incarnations of your soul. I don't know, maybe in some past time period, in some past timeline, you had where you incarnated twice at another point in time, right? So maybe you've had this experience before. I've even got a diagram for that. So here's you and your twin flame right now. And then, like over 100 years ago, here's another time that you had 2 incarnations, but they're both you, guys. And if you had a psychic experience about it where it was you and this other person, okay, fine. But all you're doing is having a psychic experience from the point of view of one of these incarnations. Maybe that's what's going on. Because if it's really your twin flame, then it's not another person. It's you, dude. It's literally you. You are both of these people. You lived both of those lives one at a time. So you were here, you did the thing that we call die, you went up here, and you went here. And then you did the thing that we call die, you went up here, and then let's say you went here the next time. And then you did the thing that we call die, you went up here, and then you went down to this one. And then you did the thing that we call die, you went up here and you did this one. And then you died again, you went up here and you did this one. And then you died and then you went down here and you did this one. You did all of those things in linear order, guys. All of them. So it's got to be one of those 2 things. It's either not your twin flame or, okay, fine, you had a psychic experience or a dream or something where you saw yourself and your twin flame, but it was just seen from that point of view, from that incarnation. There's no reincarnating with your twin flame. You've lived every single one of those lives in linear order. And Just to be clear, these birth years are just examples, you guys. These are just examples. It doesn't, your twin flame doesn't have to be older or younger than you. That does happen a lot. There are age gaps. That is a thing. So that's the deal. Again, if it is true that twin flames are the same soul, how? How does that work? And it's not the soul splitting thing. I addressed that in both of my videos on the Twin Flame Science playlist. That came from a poem. There's no scientific evidence to support that the soul splits at all. That's not a thing, guys. It's just reincarnation. Yeah, your twin flame is your soul. And this is actually, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm excited about this because this is real stuff, guys. This is everything that I'm spewing at you is all real science and also known spiritual teachings. Reincarnation. We don't have to make stuff up. Twin flames is real, but it's not going to do us any good to make stuff up about it. So that's the deal with past lives in your twin flame. Now, before I run out of time, the third talking point about having a spiritual awakening, it's really straightforward, guys. So at some point, you're going to have like Kundalini experiences, like weird metaphysical experiences going on in your body, right? And I made a video about that. I'll post it down below for you, called Twin Flame Kundalini. You're also going to experience lots of repeating number patterns and synchronicities at some point. You might not be experiencing these things yet, but if you really met your twin flame, you will, okay? And last but not least, this greater sense of a big spiritual awakening taking place. There's this greater sense of awakening, like, I just know my life is going to change, and I don't know why I know that. Right, that's your intuition talking. So again, definitely 100% of the time, some weird Kundalini experiences, definitely 100% of the time, synchronistic events and repeating number patterns, and definitely 100% of the time, a greater sense of awakening, like your life is going to change. So that's that one. Thank you very much, guys. See you next time.